So we're live, except for on LinkedIn. For some reason, LinkedIn is not allowing the live.
Oh, geez. And that's where I told people to go. That's okay. Whatever. Who cares? It'll all get sorted out.
It always does. So, hey,
Sorted,
Facebook
right?
hey, Facebook and YouTube. We're going to keep trying LinkedIn and see what happens. But we're having LinkedIn issues. There's been a lot of those LinkedIn issues over the last week for lots of people, actually. So it's another episode of the KEW Exchange. Marianne, a good friend of mine, has joined me, and we're going to talk about how to stay positive throughout COVID. I didn't want to say positive with COVID, so I definitely wanted to say, throughout COVID as the time period, not necessarily, having COVID.
That's funny because I was going to say, let's see.
We're live on LinkedIn now. They missed my good jokes. This is horrible. Gosh, all the good stuff gets missed.
No, just say it again.
Oh, okay. So this is Marianne, good friend of mine, and this is another episode of the KEW Exchange, and we're going to talk about staying positive throughout COVID, not positive with COVID. So, but if you happen to have COVID, we're still going to talk about how to stay positive, but not with COVID. So here's how this is going to roll. I'm in a weird mood today because I just met a person in public for the first time in 13 and a half months. It's very strange. I didn't know how to handle myself. I wasn't sure, I'm used to being in my pajamas all day, so it was unusual having to put shoes on. But I did. I wore a mask. It was very interesting. Still trying to get my energy back under control because it was just like being in public was like a human light bulb in the middle of nowhere. It was crazy.
So much fun.
It was. It really was
fun. Did you guys actually go out somewhere, or did you just go to their home?
No. We went to a coffee shop and sat outside in the drizzling rain.
I'm so jealous.
And it was drizzling rain, so it was awesome. It was like, I love when it's just like that drizzle. It was so awesome. I mean, my hair doesn't get messed up, so what do I have to risk, right? Like, I'm good.
Well, there you go. See my hair. Yeah, I got to do things to my hair here. Let me see if I can do this. There, let's change the hair up. There we go.
There we go. Now we're doing wardrobe changes. We got this whole thing going now.
We're getting a little bit of rain out here, too, today.
Well, it's better than another 3 feet of snow, so.
That's right.
Let's, we'll take what we can get. All right, so Marianne, why don't you introduce yourself and we'll start there and we'll go through this magical journey of Marianne.
So first of all, I live in Toronto, Canada, or just a little outside of Toronto, Ontario, Canada. So we're having a pretty good day today. Just a bit of drizzle where I am, but not that much yet, but later. And I am, where do I start? There's so much I do. So first and foremost, for well over 30 years, I've been in the wellness field or the alternative healing field, where there's a mixture of coaching, teaching classes, one-on-one sessions. I used to own a spa. I used to do massages. I did massages for 27 years, which is way too long to be doing massages for anyone because your hands hurt. I do a little bit of reflexology every once in a while, but really I've kind of retired from that as well. But I do a lot of energy healing. I am hardcore energy healer. I am a Reiki master and have been one for, I don't even know, well over 30 years. And I do something called the Energy Healing Facilitator, EHF, which is, I find that to be a bit more powerful. It's a little more punchy and other energy healing. So those are my big, giant specialties in the healing world. I do a ton of coaching and meditation. I've now started something called Meditation Minute with Marianne. That is one of the things that started in COVID. So I noticed there was a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression, unfortunately, a lot of suicides. And so I started posting. I posted one meditation minute, and I thought, you know what, let me do let me do it for like a minute and a bit. I don't know, like I don't really sit there and make sure it's exactly 1 minute. So, I got all these I posted it on Facebook, and I got all these really great responses. And I thought, oh, well, this is great. let me do it again. And so I did it like 26 times. And I just said to my friend, I said, you know what, let's do a website. Let's make this into a thing. You know, people are really responding to this. It's easy. I think it's easy because, you know, anyone can do anything for 1 minute. And so, yeah, so we turned it into a thing. And so I have a website called www.meditationminutewithmarianne.com. And, you know, there's a lot of my courses and everything are posted on there. And I'm also an ordained minister, a non-denominational one. I've been that for a while, coupled with one of the metaphysician courses that I've taken, and spiritual psychology. I've done that. So when I was very young, I went to my guidance counselor when I was 17, and I really wanted to go and take psychology or psychiatry, and I didn't know really the big difference between them. So I went to my counselor and said, you know, which one do you think I should take? And he said, I don't think you should take any. I think you're just too pretty to go to university. I think you should just stick with retail, because I was in retail at the time and I was always well dressed and had makeup on and, you know, hair, of course, you know, kids. And so I was like, wow, maybe he's right. You know, I had really low self-esteem and all of that. So, you know, self-worth was horrible, had an abusive household. My dad was bipolar, so he was, you know, pretty abusive with my mom and me. And so that kind of turned me right on into self-empowerment, and I kind of make that the focus of every author. I have 4 collaborative books that I've already participated in, and this is my first co-authored book, and I have 12 of my own books coming up, and they're going to be called Self-Empowerment Reset, and each one will have a different subtitle. It's going to match my courses. And I just heard yesterday that I may be doing a women's TV show, a women's digital TV show. So I don't know every single thing about it yet, so I don't want to talk too much about it, but it's up and coming, and I'm so excited. So maybe I'll structure them around the 12 as well. And on top of all of that, I'm also a real estate agent.
Well, you need an extra thing to do. I mean, I'm not sure you covered everything, but you're little by little covering all industry.
I actually, because I do the healing as well, I do the AO scan, which you're familiar with, and now it's acting up, so I can't really show it, because now, of course, I'll have to play with it before I can show you how it works. But I do that, and I've also been selling vitamins for a long time. So I partnered with a company called USANA. So I do sell some supplements, and it's funny because I was in the dog park the other day because I have a dog. So and this lady and I were talking, and she says, oh yeah, you know, my dog has this I don't know, it was a tendon issue. And I said, oh, I have something for that. And she goes, oh yeah, I've heard of that. She goes, I think my nutritionist sells that. And I said, yes, you should get some. And she goes, yeah, plus I'm going to have to get some for myself because my knee hurts. And I said, oh, I can help you with that too. And I said, I could also, she goes, yeah, because now going up and down the stairs in my house is really hard. And I said, I can help you get a house without stairs. And she goes, give me your number. And then I put it, she goes, just give me something. And I said, dog park, vitamins, and houses.
Massages. Wait, massages. I can get you married. I could probably divorce you. I mean, there's not much you can't do. You can heal her. You got a lot of things going on. I mean, you're like this multi-directional instant sale. Like,
I love it.
You're like the Walmart of individuals. Everything you could ever want in the world. It's a beautiful thing.
Yes. There. You know what? That whole multiple streams of income. That's me. Yeah. I'm so glad that's a thing now, because everybody thinks I'm crazy. They're like, "Oh, you're so not grounded. You're so scattered," and I'm like, "No, I'm not."
You're not focused. That's a good one.
My brain is overactive. I think that, you know, back in my time, they weren't sort of diagnosing too many of us with ADD, but I believe that if they were, I would have got diagnosed with ADD. At least. My brain just goes 100 miles an hour. It's like, zzz.
Yeah, I mean, I know I'm not diagnosed, but I am 90% sure that I have. Oh, shoot. Sorry, we double heard everything. I'm 99% sure I have ADHD based on how my mind operates.
Awesome.
So, I just go with the fun, right? Like, I mean, it's just, I love it. I wouldn't have it any other way, right? I can multitask with the best of them. I can do multiple different things at the same times, and it doesn't impact me.
I love it. I love it. I don't care what anybody says.
DJ, there's DJ.
There's DJ. DJ,
Yeah.
you and I have to get together, hon. I left you a message on LinkedIn. Hi, Dorothy.
Yes. Anybody who doesn't know Marianne, you have to reach out to her. She can sell you a house. She can get you married. She can probably help you get divorced. She can heal you. She can treat you. She can sell you vitamins. She is an amazing human being that has a heart of gold. And I really am honored to call her my friend because
I tried. Honest to God, if I could work for free, I'd be the happiest person on earth. I would just like do group healing, like to get as many people healed as humanly possible. It's just, you got to pay a mortgage, got to live on earth too, and got to stay grounded. Here's my AO scan. I finally got it working.
There you go.
There, sort of, kind of. It's hard to see, but I'm just going to briefly show you how it works. Just briefly, because it does operate on voice recognition. So this is how I do it for myself. So you just talk into it. Oh, there it is. You just speak into it. You say your name. So you go, hi, my name is Marianne Padjan. And you try to be as authentic as you can in the moment. And oops, there it is. It pops up. And now you have your reading. And then this, so that was the scan of the body. And so this is the healing. So it heals on sound therapy, which I love. I love sound therapy. And that's pretty loud. I love sound therapy, and I love energy healing, and I love light therapy. And I have a biomat. I have two biomats, one on top of each other. So one is a vibration with the crystals inside, and the other one is with crystals inside. So by crystals, I mean both amethyst and tourmaline. And the other one has heat. So it creates like an infrared about 6 inches into your body, and it just heals up all kinds of stuff.
It's pretty amazing. The AO machine is unbelievable. Like, I can't get over everything that thing does. It's it blew my mind. Like, I mean, I'm apprehensive to everything, and I didn't have a choice. It just recorded me for a period of time. I didn't even notice. I'm pretty apprehensive, but I mean, the thing was pretty amazing. Like, the information that comes out of it really blows your mind. Like, it's so detailed, and it goes across all spectrums of your life.
It does. And it's not overly expensive, for anyone who has any serious issues, even if you don't. I don't have any issues. I'm 59 years old. I just turned 59 about a month ago. And, I don't have high blood pressure. I have regular blood pressure. I don't have any heart issues at all. I could probably lose some weight, especially now after COVID. Other than that, I don't have, I did originally a couple of years ago register for a little bit of slightly higher blood sugar, but ever so slightly, because diabetes runs in my family. But I've totally, taken care of that, which all by natural sources: food, drink, exercise, vitamins. I'm a huge supplement lover because I just don't believe that our soils have the nourishment in it that they once did. So that I meditate, obviously. I'm the queen of meditation. I meditate all the time, and I'm a huge, huge, huge implementer and believer of deep breathing. I cannot say enough about deep breathing. Putting enough oxygen into your body. Oh, geez. And I try to get out to the dog park. I'm so lucky. I have this giant dog park with a bit of hills, so it makes for a great walk for me. And then we have the water and lots of trees. So I try to go there and try to do my deep breathing, super deep breathing exercises, but I do them here anyways. My place is not a big thing. I have a balcony, so I can always go on a balcony, and I open the door. Like today, my door's fully open, so I like fresh air a lot. So I think we should all get outside. So that's huge.
It's, everything that you're doing has been known, right? Like these aren't miracles. These aren't things that haven't been known for years. Light healing energy work has been done for years. I mean, lots of years.
Yep.
Sound treatment and frequency treatment is done for years. It's just becoming more convenient, right? And technology is making it more readily available. Infrared.
So this is a little infrared thing that I have. It's really, really good. And it just fits into your palm and you can use it on anyone. Honestly, even my dog, I use it on. Pets are very similar to us. I use all of my equipment on my dog and I use vitamins. I give him vitamins. My dog is 6.5 and he is beautiful, and I'm making a mess here because I don't know where I'm putting stuff. And there's Jenny watching. I was just talking to Jenny. I'm not going to mention what you said to me today, Jenny, but she was saying how she feels better about a few things.
And that's great. I mean, look, when your body starts healing, everything starts healing, right? When one thing changes, everything changes.
Mm-hmm.
Being healthy isn't about being this magazine model, right? It's about getting into a healthy place in your own frame, in your own body, right? And where it's naturally supposed to be.
Yeah.
And there is no one size fits all, right?
No.
And that's this image thing that we need to lose.
Yeah. And I have some really great models, like you were just saying, that they look beautiful. They look like they're healthy, but not so much inside. We got to fix the inside. We got to fix this, and then we got to fix this, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's a list, right? Like it's not only one thing; it's many things.
Huge, many things. Huge. So
it is. So okay. So where do you want to go with this? Because we can talk obviously about 100 topics. So
yeah,
let's talk about staying positive during COVID.
Yes, I was going to say
how some of these treatments and things that you do advance that and help with that, and have helped you to stay positive during COVID.
Well, I've gone through a huge giant shift. So I think one of the biggest gifts of COVID that COVID absolutely gave us is it made us stay at home, stay within our own energy, whether we like it or not. There's people, like, I'm busy because I'm always doing everything that I love. And for me, there's just not enough time in a day for everything. And I have to schedule time with myself. Like, I actually have to schedule it to make sure I give it to myself. But what COVID gave us was it forced us to spend time with ourselves. And many people don't like that. They don't like spending time with themselves. They don't like themselves enough to do that.
I'm one of those people. 100%.
So it made us, face ourselves and look at our reflection, look at us deeply in our lives and see what is it that we're doing and what's working and what's not, and what do we really want to do? Like, do I really want to go here and there and everywhere? And so I was working full-time as a recruiter. So like a headhunter. That was my full-time job. I loved my job. I loved the office. I loved my team that I was working with. It was great. But I had, for the last little bit, already felt the calling to go and do more. I've always done the wellness on the side. I had a spa, so I did more of the physical wellness. So there was that massaging, the reflexology, the various healings, the energy healing. And now I've gotten more into the courses and the coaching, and I certainly implement a lot of, like, I'll do tapping in a session because all my healing is now pretty much Zoom, right? And so I'll do tapping and I'll do energy healing and I'll do the AO scan and I'll do all these things. And I just, I was at home enough and I thought, geez, this isn't really working out that well for me. So maybe I should just put my energy more into this. I've been feeling the calling more. And so now I feel like everyone's like, oh, now you have a part-time job and a part-time job. And I said, no, now I feel like I have 2 full-time jobs, because working real estate is almost full-time, and doing this is full-time. Like, there's days where I go, and this because we can't even connect for 5 minutes sometimes, and it's like 16-hour days. The music, 16-hour days at times, which, really does equate to 2 full-time jobs. And then, of course, I'm working weekends. And so now I have the pleasure of having not one, but 2 clients that are together, and they're going into Niagara Falls. So I live in Toronto, so that's about an hour and a half away. So we're talking about the Niagara Falls city, the city of Niagara Falls, where the falls actually is. So for international people, and so it's so much fun because I love going out there. It's just amazing. And so we basically go out once a week. Sometimes we go twice. It just depends. There's a lot of multiple offers happening, so we haven't been able to capture anything just yet, but it's amazing. So I've turned my life over, and I've also become, during COVID, I have become an author. In my life, I never thought I was going to be an author. And I now have 5 books that I'm a part of, and I have 9 more coming up with Robert J. Moore. He's my coach. And I totally forgot to tell him I'm on here today. He's my coach. He's my coach. And I've got him for the year. And I've also taken his and Laurie McNeil's Celebrity You coaching, which is amazing. And so I've done 5 books so far. I've got 9 more that I'm doing with him, 12 of mine, and 1 children's book that I'm going to do with a friend. So that'll be 12 more, 13 more, and then 1 massage one on its own. Sorry, not massage. I'm sorry, meditation one on its own.
So so here's DJ, right?
Hi, DJ.
I know DJ. I've had many conversations with DJ. How can you help her, right? Because sitting still is difficult, right?
Yes.
Like, it's very tough for me at times. It used to be a lot harder than it is now.
Okay, how about we just do a 1-minute meditation right now? Because like I said, 1 minute is easy. And if you want to continue to build on that, I'm going to tell you something. I have been doing meditation since I was 16 years old. But the first time I did it, oh my sweet Lord, I went ballistic. For 6 months, all I had in my head was the laundry list and this, and what am I going to do, and how am I going to shop for this, and what's happening here and what's happening there. It took me 6 months to shut my mind down. So you know what? I teach it, and I suffered at the beginning. So everybody cut yourself some slack. So we're just going to go a little bit at a time. I went into a class, and we had to sit there and meditate for 20 minutes. Nothing wrong with that if you can, but if you can't, start with 1 minute. So the only thing I'm going to ask is that you sit up straight so that your spine is straight. Now, if you want to lie down, that's okay too, but your spine needs to be straight and your neck needs to be straight for a few different reasons. So the spinal fluid goes up and down, and your energy goes up and down. So I need it to go straight so that it's not like you're not all curved up and whatever, and you're not doing this, and you're not all twisted up and whatever.
I mean, I can't even sit through a live show without shifting around because I'm so fidgety.
Of course. Well, that's why I took meditation. That's why the universe made me go do all the meditations, so that I could teach people who are like me. I get the whole shifty thing, and I get the racy mind. I know exactly what people are talking about. So, they're moving throughout. I used to own a yoga studio. I would just watch them. The ones that were just like perfectly still for like 20 minutes, and the ones that were like, oh, I can't believe she's making me do this. When is this going to end? So
see, I blame Arkansas for allowing me to go in public for an hour. This is what happens.
I think that's great. Good for you. Okay, so let's take a deep breath in. You guys all close your eyes. I'm going to keep mine open because I don't want to do anything too long because I'll get carried away in meditation, and it'll be Thursday by the time I come out, or Friday. Sorry, it is Thursday. Haha. Okay, inhale through your nose and really, really deep. And slowly exhale through your mouth. Very, very slowly. Excellent. So now, when you inhale, I'd like you to hold the breath to a count of 3. Not 1, 2, 3, but 1, 2, 3, and exhale. And inhale. And now hold the breath to a count of 4. And exhale slowly. And inhale again. Hold the breath for 5. And exhale. And one more big inhale. Hold for 6. And exhale. And a big giant inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale and shake it off. Shake, 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 shake. All that energy. Shake it off. Bring yourself back.
I should have warned you that I only slept 2.5 hours last night.
Right?
For me.
So that's helpful to people who have busy minds. If you're thinking, oh, she told me I have to hold it for 3. So it gives you something to do with that mind of yours other than going to your shopping list, laundry list, blah, blah, blah list, right? So it keeps your mind occupied enough, but still keeps you calm. And as you keep doing the deep breathing, you will get very sleepy. And there's nothing wrong with falling asleep after a meditation or during a meditation for that matter. I've done it.
Pretty sure it would be bad timing, and it would be head first into the table, so that would probably be a bad idea.
Yeah, maybe not today, but so there. How was that, DJ? Did she do it with us?
I don't know.
Okay.
I did it. I almost fell asleep, but I did it.
But it was good, right? It was nice and relaxing. Yeah. So what that does is
you've showed me that many times,
right? And it helps
forcing it upon me.
It helps take your mind and your body from the sympathetic nervous system to the parasympathetic nervous system. So basically from stress to calm. And so it's perfect to do before you go to sleep, perfect before a big meeting, perfect before whatever makes you nervous. Right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm calm, so I don't know what to tell you. I went from bouncing all over the place to now I'm ready to take a nap. So
that's good.
I'm so even now, I'm ready to just call it.
That's good. You have coffee.
I do have coffee. I have my espresso, and then I also have my coffee from earlier.
That's excellent.
No, I love it. I mean, it's so huge, right? It's such a
all this energy channel.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
did it.
I mean,
way to go, Jenny.
And you're talking about deep belly breathing too. You're not talking about, chest breathing. Chest breathing is different and very non-beneficial.
Right. There's lots of different things that we do. I teach a meditation class for you can do this one. Inhale through your left nostril. Exhale through your right nostril. It just immediately helps to balance you out. And I find all breathing very grounding.
Well, I'm going to keep breathing. I'm going to work on that, but I'm going to make sure I keep breathing for a while.
That's good. I'm glad to hear.
So what's next in your toolbox?
Well, I still need to find out about this. I also got nominated for an award, something to do with healthcare. I haven't heard. I have to speak to the gentleman also. Jesus said Michael Seeley, yes. And this TV show, it's a women's network. It's international. It goes into 213 countries. We'll be able to have ads on there. It would be about a 30-minute, half an hour show. I don't know. I'm super excited about that. I'm also joining some forces with the Stroke TV Foundation. So it's just a group of people mostly that have had a stroke in the past. And I think now they're opening it up to people maybe who have had a heart attack and, other things. So I'm going to be speaking with them. and I'm also on their podcast, and then we'll see where that goes. And I have to get an iPhone. I'm an Android girl. I got to get an iPhone. I got to get onto Clubhouse. I got invited yesterday to help speak at a spiritual group on Clubhouse, and I really want to. I love the leader. She's amazing. She was on my summit. And yeah, so my book's coming up. I'm going to do a big collaborative book.
I'm ready for bed. I'm sorry. Like, I'm yawning away. I'm like, you just relaxed me. Like, what's going on?
I love that. I'm so
I was
happy.
just flying. Like, I felt amazing. And now it's like, ooh, bedtime.
No, now you feel amazing too. You're just relaxed, amazing.
I'm just relaxed. And wow, what an extreme difference that is.
Right?
I must have not been close to relaxed. It's interesting, right? Like, something that simple. And all it is a matter of slowing ourselves down.
Right.
Giving ourselves that moment, just honoring ourselves with the moment. And
to be able to do it on Zoom, thank you, COVID, for that one, really. Because now I can reach so many more people. And I can also, I never in the past would have thought, oh, hey, let me do a Zoom, and we're going to do a Zoom coaching session. But now I can do Zoom coaching sessions.
Yeah, it's amazing, right? Reach, proximity, location, geographical, all kind of goes out all the windows in almost every single type of scenario, actually.
Right.
You know, because when you become aligned and you are feeling your soul and, you know, truly being within yourself, there's no distance that will overcome being aligned, right?
Can you read this? Yes. Be still and know. Isn't that great?
It is. Being aligned and being within yourself, though, allows that to happen. And it's magical, right? It's truly magical how you can connect with anyone, anywhere. And you feel like you're in the same room.
That's
yes,
right.
There is something additional about being in person. Yes, there is an additional atmosphere to it. But you can get that the same way from being at home. You can get that the same way with distance. It's not always about being in front of people, right? What I used to do is use that to escape, right? That was my escapism, my busyism. I had to be busy. If I wasn't busy, I was with myself.
Mm-hmm.
So it was that avoidance tactic. COVID put a stop to that one. Pretty good. And you know, the reality is everything else in my life also put a stop to it. The universe said you need to slow down, so I slowed down. The universe said you need to come to a complete halt. I've come to a complete halt. The universe says you need to stay a little longer. I'm staying a little longer. So it's my own personal oasis, and I am growing and evolving through it, and it's amazing.
I know. It's so fun. You look amazing.
Thank you. I'm having a good hair day.
Me too.
There you go.
I did a podcast yesterday with the UK, so today it's with the US.
There you go.
And then I have another one with the US later, and then Australia. Who knows? Like, it's just, I love it. See,
it's amazing.
I don't understand when people say, oh, but now we have to do everything through Zoom, so we can't connect. Yes, we can. I totally feel connected. I probably feel more connected than ever before.
I think it's possible to be more connected now, right? But I also think that people have to be open to it. And you're going to run into lots of people that aren't open to it.
Well, I was terrified of technology. So.
You know, but it's not a negative, right? It's just people are scared of the new norm. They don't want to fall into this new norm, right? They're worried that they're going to be fear of missing out, that it's not going to be the same, that, you know, oh, do I really know somebody if it's just through, you know, a virtual connection? And I get that, right? But I've been doing virtual business now since 2008.
Oh, good for you.
Started with Skype and doing video Skype calls with the UN in China and all that other stuff that I was doing.
Nice.
UNDP. It's like there's so many things. Like, it's all possible, right? You've got to allow yourself to believe it, and that's part of it. That's part of this experience.
I love it. I think that's fantastic. I think one of the things I'm going to venture into now that I haven't done up until now yet is I'm going to do some recordings. So I'm going to, instead of teaching courses sort of live, so to speak, on Zoom, I'm going to actually record them, and I'm going to record a package for corporations because I want to bring meditation and that level of wellness into corporations. And so I will probably offer some recorded material, and then maybe some, if they would like, live. Again, live. When I say live, I use that term loosey-goosey because it's live on Zoom. So we could do live on Zoom, and then maybe once a week live on Zoom for a bit, and then the rest could be recorded, 4 recordings for the rest of the other 4 days of the week, I guess. And then they can send it to their home if they're working at home or at the office or whatever. It'd be great, right? And I think we can all agree that we all need wellness and some sort of meditation. And I'm sure that after this whole COVID thing settles down and everyone's got everything that, they're looking for, so that we can open everything up pretty much regularly, or I don't want to say it's going to go back to whatever normal is. I think there'll probably be some mandates on what companies will have to do for wellness. So I think I'll have to get out there and do some of that too.
Well, I think there's going to be a lot of changes, right? And I don't know if we even know the full scope of the changes, right? Because with all the vaccines out, you don't know how often they're going to need boosters. You don't know if it's going to work on all strains. You don't know what the long-term effects are. You don't know. We don't really know much. But we're doing a good job of winging it and having faith. At the end of the day, like, staying positive through COVID. So I think it is a total flip in perspective, a total flip in spectrum. You have to be able to look and adapt to things in a different way than ever before. No one, or I shouldn't say nobody, let me not exclude anybody. Very few people alive have seen this type of scenario, right?
That's right.
What was it, the flu in 1918? And even then they didn't really close things down because, by the time the newspaper hit a different city, it was already infected another half of the city.
Right.
Doing parades, they were still doing all this crazy stuff. But in the media age, where it's instant knowledge and instant, gratification, it's like, it's so readily available, and everybody's living in fear, right? And this is truly something that I've really paid attention to now more than ever, probably because they just have the time to, right?
Sure.
I think we probably all have a little extra time. But like, if you really watch one side versus the other, especially here in America, right? You're in Canada. I'm not sure what the media there is like, but here in the
Canada's
US,
very conservative. Let's just keep it at that.
so here in the US, it's extreme, right? It's one side or the other.
That's right.
And there's really no middle ground anywhere. So they play both sides against each other. They divide us to conquer us. They play these divisive techniques to be able to create fear. And I think that has been a really big hit of COVID, right? Like, it's not only the impact, it's not only the people that are dying, it's not only the people that are really sick, it's not only, losing family members and all those other things. I really think the how fear has overtaken us, has really created issues.
And that's part of it. And certainly, not to diminish anything that's been negative that's happened to people. Many people have lost their jobs. The economic factor is huge on everyone, literally everyone around the world. I mean, there's people that have been able to pivot. And so, so that's kind of what I was hoping to do with this show, is just let's put out the positive, because there has been a lot of positive that has happened during COVID for a lot of people. And my coach and publisher, Robert J. Moore, he's actually putting out a book called The Blessings of COVID. So, if you want into that, certainly, we can discuss that. But I think that's fabulous. And he's like, I only want to hear positive stories. I only want to hear stuff that has happened, because there's so much good out there that sometimes people are scared, like people have, lost family members and whatnot, and, jobs. And so they don't want to hear about the good stuff that's happened to people. And so sometimes the people that have had the good things happen to them feel inadequate, awkward talking about it, because it's like, oh, I don't want to talk about my successes when they're suffering. But there's two things that are out there that are happening, the good and the not so great. So it's important to speak of both, and it's important to shine a spotlight on taking a situation that maybe isn't so great. Like back in March of last year, I didn't feel, oh, hey, yeah, this is a great thing. No, it wasn't that great. It wasn't that great for, and I'm like, oh, wow, geez, what am I going to do now? I had all these deals that were supposed to go through and close. And of course they couldn't because people weren't hiring. All these people were losing their jobs, right? So I was like, wow, this is now what? Now what, right? And then if you were able to pivot, something really awesome happened. Like so many companies started selling PPE. Like that was a big deal, right? And then not to mention the vaccine makers. And, so there's good stuff out there too. It's just, I'm just trying to shine a light on the positive. That's really all I want to do.
I mean, for me, right? For me,
Yeah.
last year was the best year of my life.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. And a lot of people say that.
See, here's the thing, right? Like as bad as COVID is, as extreme as it is, I know people are hurting. I know people lost so much. And it's not that I didn't lose anything. I didn't have a family member pass away. I didn't lose anything like that. But for me, it was a complete transformative year for me, right? Like I adapted in every way possible. And it's changed my life forever in perpetuity of going forward. Like I'm never going back to where I was.
Oh, thank goodness.
It's been mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical transformation. And I'm continuing it this year. And, this is going to be the best year when this year's over because I'm going to make sure of it no matter what it is.
That's right.
Oh, and it starts today and I can only control today and where I'm at today. I slept 3 hours. I should be exhausted and curled in a bed. But you know what? At the end of the day, I'm happy. I'm happy with doing what I'm doing. I'm not happy with the emotional stuff and going through it, but nobody is. But you know what? I'm processing. I'm learning. I'm evolving. I'm growing from it. And those are blessings because every time you go through something, you're learning and becoming stronger to deal with the next thing, whatever it may be, because there's always going to be something.
Spending time with yourself will create a lot of healing. You will either love yourself more or you will go antsy-fancy out the door and go, okay, I can't stand this. I need to get out. But I think we're all forced to I love spending time with myself. Like I said, I have to schedule time. So when COVID kind of came along, I was like, geez, I need to figure out how I'm going to do this. In order to figure things out, you can't be in the middle of busy trying to do this. You need to take a little bit of time for yourself. And it has to sort of, okay, where do I want to be and what do I want to do? And and you don't always need to know everything. This is like my big message is you don't always need to know everything. You don't need to see everything. If you're going from New York to California, you only need to see the 200 feet in front of you while you're driving. You don't need to see California and what it looks like until you get there. Like you will get there. And sometimes when you take that first step, the rest of them will unveil. And so the second step will all of a sudden just show up. And then as you go through that second step and you go through that door, the third one shows up and it's like, wow, look at this. Are you kidding me? And the last 3 days, like last week, I had a big breakthrough and I was like a mess and I'm going, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And my schedule is completely out of control. Like, what is happening? Where did my boundaries go? What happened? Why did I say yes to so many things? And I teach this stuff, right? So I was just like, okay, pull yourself together, ground up, and that's it. You know what? Let's now make a different schedule because I need to survive. I need to sleep. I need to, eat. I need to get outside. I need to do things. And then I got to grip on my own schedule. But the only person you can control anyways is yourself. So you got to stop trying to think you're going to control the situation or the other people. It's not going to happen. You're not that. So that's not you. The only person you need to work on is yourself. And so I think that's part of what the message was to all of us is here, go spend time with yourself, figure out what you want. Life is short. Go out there and do what you need to do and stop waiting. Stop waiting. Stop waiting for perfection. Perfection is never going to happen.
That's what I just learned Tuesday.
Yeah, right.
like that's what I learned Tuesday, right? Like I made up this thing that I was going to be somewhere and everything else was going to happen, right? Like I had to be there for things to happen. I had to be here, or I had to be that it was a geographical problem, right? And it was just another excuse. And I got so caught up on not being where I'm at that I just allowed time to disappear. And I decided yesterday I'm not wasting time anymore. It doesn't matter where I am physically. It doesn't matter, when I'm not here physically, wherever I go after this. What matters is that I'm in the right now and I'm making things happen on a moment by moment basis. And the reality is that you're right. That's all we can control. Yeah. The rest of it, we're just driving ourselves nuts over.
Right. And trust. You got to trust that next step is going to be okay, or that the thing that you want to see that you don't see yet, it's going to come. And not just that. So like I said, last week I had a huge breakdown, really crazy week. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't do this anymore. Like, this is insane. And I got a grip on my schedule. And in the last 3 days, I got nominated for this great award. I got this TV thing. I have this other thing. And I'm just like, whoa. All these really spectacular things, like big, spectacular things. And I'm just like, I don't think I can say no to these things. Where's my coach Robert now? I don't think I can say no, because the first time he put me onto a podcast, do you know that I've only been doing podcasts for not even a year yet? And he goes, I'm going to need you to go onto a podcast this week, this day or that day. And the only thing is, you can't say no. And I'm like, well, I wasn't going to say no anyways, but thanks.
Yeah, I mean, I think the first time I went live was last June.
Yeah, that's great.
I think. No, it might have been May now that I look back. Wait.
I did May. I think I did
It might have been April or May.
May or April, yeah.
And now people are getting sick of me because I'm live every day and sometimes twice a day, and like I'm everywhere. Like,
I love listening to you. We're not getting sick of you.
Like I'm all over the place. And that's fine. You know what? I like being out there. I'm perfectly fine with it. I've also stayed away now from being on social media other than when I'm live, because I really just don't have the energy for it or the patience for it or the bandwidth. It takes a lot of energy from us to be present for people on social media. Yeah. By the way, Dorothy Ann's publisher is Robert also.
Yes. She says Robert is also a publisher. I did mention that he's doing a Blessings of COVID book. So if anyone's interested, because it's going to be a collaborative book and he's looking for a number of people. And I did show off 2 of my books because I can't find the other ones. I don't know where they are. I probably lent them out there somewhere. This one is actually one with Robert. And so I'm right here. So I did one before, and then he made me into an international bestseller. So now I get to use that on my title. And then this one is a co-authorship with a colleague of mine. And we called it Mental and Physical Nutrition because she's a nutritionist and a osteopath, and I am an energy healer and a coach. So it was perfect. I do the mental, she does the physical. We both do both, obviously. And so there it is. Yeah. So yeah, Robert's an awesome publisher and very reasonable, and you should speak with him because he also does marketing. He markets the book and he will make you into a bestseller.
That's awesome.
Yes, he's very good that way. And so there.
Yeah, well, I think when this period of time is over, that there might need to be a movie about this, not a book. That sounds like a book sounds like a lot of work. A movie sounds better.
We're just writing a chapter each, so it's easy. But I think there's going to be a lot of movies about this. I think this is great.
Yeah, COVID's really impact people in many ways, right? And it's not all positive. It's not all negative. There's lots of changes. One thing I think it did was teach everybody how strong and resilient they are.
Yep.
And that's a big thing to learn. That is a massive thing to absorb.
Mm-hmm. How to stay resilient during COVID. That should be the movie. There. Yeah. That's it right there. No, you know what? And there's a lot of, because, just going back to me, it was a little bit of a shock. Like, wow, this COVID thing, like, this is weird. And now, I'm having a tough time at work trying to do what I was doing. And I've lost some of the clients because they've shut down and so on and so forth. And, I went from that to really good for me. work-wise, right? And so, again, not to diminish or insult anyone who's lost family members or friends or anything. I mean, that's terribly sad still, but we do have to acknowledge that the time given to us, the time created for us, the opportunities were there. And so if you chose not to walk through that door, well, then you're still probably somewhere out there in victimhood, right? Feeling sorry for yourself. And if you did go through it, you're probably helping the world in a whole different way. All of us healer type people, we are so busy, it's insane. Like, there's so much mental health issue out there, and as a result of that, the physical, I mean, whoever's doing whatever version of treatment, we're all out there, and we're getting out there faster and faster because it's so needed and it's so important, right? So thank you for doing this show, because this is part of that. This is amazing.
It is. It's about getting the message out, right? And getting stories out that most people don't hear, and being able to provide a platform for people to amplify their voice.
Right.
It's very important to be able to amplify voices. And it's a magical experience to share space with people and hold space for people and be able to be there for them as they share their stories.
Mm-hmm.
Dorothy's going to be on the show soon. DJ's going to be on the show. Jenny was already on the show. So yeah, I mean, this is.
I did a show with Jenny recently. Was it last week, Jenny? I think last week, right? I'm so busy.
You need to do a show with DJ.
Okay, DJ, let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah, so, and your connection, your connectedness, is that a word? Your connectedness is crazy. It's like connections on speed with Michael.
It is.
You need to meet each other. I don't even know how many people. I think it's been like, are we up to about 30 or 50? Like, I don't even know how many people you've introduced me to so far. All really spectacular, awesome people, like amazing. Like, I don't even have time to see everyone.
With me, it's intuitive based, right? Like, it's pure intuition. I don't even know what I'm doing. Like, whatever name comes to mind, I just do the intro, move to the next, do the intro, move to the next. Like, somebody once said to me, like, can you let me know when you're doing an intro? And I said, not if you want me to introduce you to people, because it's just not going to happen. Because intuitively, it just doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
When you come off the list, then you're off the list. And when you're ready to go back on, I have to kind of dig into that intuition again, and it kind of takes away from it.
Right.
And I'm not as good at it at that point, right? When it gets overwhelming. And I know I'm overwhelming in that respect, because I'll do 20, 30 at a time.
Yep.
Like,
yeah.
I'll do 20.
I will attest to that. That's true.
Right. So it's a lot of times. It's a lot of moments, right? It's a lot to handle. But there's magic in that, right? And I always leave it very open-ended so that nobody walks into it with any preconceived notions, that everybody has to intuitively follow why they're on the call themselves. Because that's the magic in it. That's the true magic, is being able to have an unabided, unadulterated, direct conversation with somebody that you don't know why you're on the phone.
That's right.
Because then you're open to anything. And then your mind starts creating this energy flow that didn't exist prior. And it brings out the magic of each one of us. It just does.
I definitely believe that miracles lie in the unknown.
100%. 100%. So is there anything that you'd like to finish this with? Because we are actually at the end already.
Oh, yes, we are. Oh, my goodness. I think I already mentioned, I always end all of my podcasts with the let go of perfection, even though I just mentioned it earlier, but I can't stress enough how that is a huge thing and how important that is, because you know what? There will never be anything so completely 100% perfect. Like, oh, I can't do this until I go do this. I can't do that until I have this. No, you know what? Drop it. Everything, the perfect time for anything, to start anything, to take the first step is now. And it's that perfection within the imperfection. And you have to go. Don't stop yourself. Don't wait, because you have no idea what is in front of you and how big you will go and how many people need to hear what you have to say. So if you think you can't do something, you're wrong. First of all, you have something that you can share with everyone, and there's someone out there who needs to hear what you have to say. So stop trying to rip them off of that and get out there and tell them and do it. Write a book, do a movie, do a podcast, do a TV show, do a summit. Oh, I love doing summits. They're so much fun.
Look, there's magic in allowing someone space to share their message, right?
That's right.
And it needs to happen. People need to feel comfortable to share their voice. And when we get to that point is when the magic really kicks in.
And when someone comes to you and says, hey, I heard you speak, that day was a really dark day for me, and you probably stopped me from things like, you know, all kinds of things I've heard, from like suicide, from this, from that. Like, it's, you never know whose life you're going to impact and how, in what way. Get out there and do it. If you have the calling for it, get to it and stop waiting. Waiting is just a waste of time.
And I'm literally, you know, I wait. I used to wait. Doing it. I'm done. So
I didn't see you wait.
Everybody, yeah, well, in some ways I was, and I'm done with it. I'm not waiting anymore. So yeah. Everybody, thank you very much for being here. I need a nap. Like, whatever you did to me, just like it just knocked me out.
Well, I did play a little bit of the AO scan, and you have a huge connection to that. You react to that immediately. But the deep breathing, please, everyone, go out there and deep breathe. Thank you. Take a deep breath.
I might not see you until tomorrow. So if I'm not on my live show tonight, somebody remind me.
Please, yeah. Everyone, connect with me on Facebook or LinkedIn. I'm all over the place. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. My email is spiritualtouch11@gmail.com. That's spiritualtouch, the number 11 @gmail.com.
All right. Thank you very much, everybody. Have an amazing day. Thank
Namaste.
You so much, Marianne.
Thanks so much, Michael. Thank you.
You're welcome. Wait, oops, the buttons are